It is time for the Jets to acquire Shedeur Sanders from the Cleveland Browns. And someone tell me why that's a bad idea. And I don't want to hear about it's a circus. It's a circus? What's this? What the hell is this that we're watching? Circus. That's a circus. Bad, crappy football is a circus. The Jets should have drafted this guy, I don't know, second, third, fourth. They got a million opportunities to draft him. He has not gotten an opportunity in Cleveland. I don't really care about the Cleveland Browns, so I'm not going to fight their battles. I'll let Josina Anderson take care of that.
He would have been my quarterback. The kid has ability. So when you sit back, it could have been changed. It could have been different, had they, hired me or whatever. He would have been my quarterback. Okay? I believe in the ability that this young man has. How about we do something to help the guy?
Yep. The NFL just witnessed one of the most aggressive trade proposals in recent memory and is tearing the Browns organization apart from the inside out. Subscribe to this channel if you love Shedeur. Comment SS100 if you want Shedeur to start in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints have reportedly assembled a monster trade package worth over $21 million, complete with multiple draft picks and conditional escalators to pry Shedeur Sanders away from Cleveland. This isn't rumors or hot takes. Multiple sources confirm the Saints made a serious run at Shedeur before the trade deadline, and the response inside the Browns facility has been nothing short of complete chaos. Players are seething. Coaches are in full panic mode. Ownership is frantically scrambling to escape the most dysfunctional situation in professional football, and Shedeur Sanders himself might finally be getting the escape hatch he desperately deserves. It all exploded when Stephen A. Smith went absolutely nuclear on First Take after watching footage of Shedeur Sanders openly mocking Dillon Gabriel's horrendous play during last week's crushing defeat. The video that sparked this controversy showed Shedeur on the Browns sideline watching Gabriel throw yet another catastrophic interception. Cameras caught him turning to a teammate, shaking his head in disgust, muttering loud enough for the microphones to capture every word. "I could have thrown that one left-handed, man."
If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the coach, then don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people gotta say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like, it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So
that precise moment, that public display of frustration and contempt, was the organizational powder keg finally detonating for everyone to see. This wasn't typical backup frustration. This was a declaration that Shedeur Sanders was finished being patient, finished staying silent, finished watching Dillon Gabriel systematically destroy Cleveland's season while he sat on the bench ready to take over. The video exploded across the internet instantaneously. Twitter erupted with thousands of comments. Instagram flooded with reactions. TikTok's algorithm pushed the content relentlessly across millions of feeds. When First Take aired the footage the next morning, Stephen A. Smith absolutely lost it, slamming his desk with that trademark intensity, screaming that Shedeur Sanders sits there ready to go, while Dillon Gabriel looks like a college backup wearing an NFL jersey.
Those are the only kinds of folks that drop that precipitously. Neither applies to Shedeur Sanders. He has no checkered past off the field. On the field, he performed, and he has no injury history, despite being sacked 94 times in the last 2 years.
The entire segment transformed into a comprehensive showcase of Shedeur, his practice throws, sideline composure, and emerging locker room leadership presence. ESPN producers went into overdrive, highlighting the stark contrast between Shedeur's obvious readiness and Gabriel's continued struggles.
That were hell-bent on making sure that Deion Sanders didn't get his way. And they went and they punished his son to punish him. Deion knows it, I know it, anybody with sense know it, we've all heard it.
Here's what makes this situation completely explosive. While the media circus raged over Shedeur's sideline comments, the New Orleans Saints were quietly constructing what insiders describe as one of the most aggressive trade proposals in recent NFL history. The package reportedly includes a second-round pick in the upcoming draft, a fourth-rounder, and additional conditional selections that could escalate based on performance benchmarks. When you calculate the total value, including trade capital and contract considerations, multiple league insiders with direct knowledge of the negotiations peg it at over $21 million. Think about what this means. The Saints have identified Shedeur Sanders as their franchise quarterback answer. After years of instability at the position, they've watched him buried in Cleveland. They see the dysfunction. They've decided to make a bold, aggressive move to rescue him from that disaster and give him a fresh start he absolutely deserves.
And if I can ask a super quick follow-up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
The Browns organization's response to the Saints' offer has been absolute bedlam. Players are reportedly furious that the front office would even consider trading away their best quarterback while continuing to start Dillon Gabriel every single week. One veteran player told local reporters anonymously that the locker room will completely revolt if they trade Shedeur while keeping Gabriel as the starter. Multiple offensive players have privately expressed they want Shedeur to get his opportunity in Cleveland, but if that won't happen, trading him is the best move for his career, even though it hurts the team.
For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, all I can say is I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. Fifth player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the fourth round at quarterback. That's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough.
Owner Jimmy Haslam is reportedly enraged by the entire situation. He's invested hundreds of millions attempting to build a winning organization. Now he faces a brutal choice. Accept a trade offer that returns valuable draft capital, or keep a backup quarterback who might be better than the starter, but could haunt the franchise for years if Shedeur finds success elsewhere.
It seems like Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has put some pressure on Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel. Now, the owner has weighed in on this quarterback situation.
The social media frenzy has been unprecedented. For over 12 hours, Shedeur Sanders dominated national trending topics. NFL legends piled on. Michael Irvin posted enthusiastically about the fire burning in Shedeur's eyes. Shannon Arp declared that when a backup publicly disrespects the starter, the organization has already decided they're just picking when to announce it. That's precisely when the Saints pounced. New Orleans had been monitoring the situation carefully, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When Shedeur's frustration got captured on that viral video, Saints GL Mickey Loomis contacted Cleveland's front office to make his pitch. Reports indicate Kevin Stefanski has been handed an ultimatum. Either he implements a quarterback change after the upcoming bye week, giving Shedeur an honest chance to compete for the starting job, or ownership will seriously consider accepting the Saints' offer and moving on from Shedeur entirely.
Maybe this is Kevin Stefanski trying to shield Dillon Gabriel from all of that. But to that, I would say, if you're that worried about the fragility of his mental state, then he's probably not your franchise quarterback anyway.
The backup would get a certain percentage of the reps, and the fact that Shedeur isn't does raise some eyebrows as to why not. I'm wondering what the motive is here for the Browns to not make sure that he's at least somewhat ready in a God forbid type scenario if Dillon Gabriel can't go and he needs to go out there and be the starter.
That ultimatum puts Stefanski in an impossible position. If he sticks with Gabriel and the Saints' offer gets accepted, Stefanski loses whatever credibility remains in the locker room. But if he caves to pressure and benches Gabriel for Shedeur, he's admitting his decision was catastrophically wrong all along, potentially accelerating his own exit from Cleveland. The timing makes everything more urgent. The Browns sit at 2 wins and 4 losses, desperately needing to turn things around before playoff hopes vanish completely. They share a division with Lamar Jackson's Ravens and Joe Burrow's Bengals. Every game carries massive implications. For Shedeur, this must be simultaneously thrilling and terrifying. Thrilling because New Orleans would likely provide the immediate starting opportunity Cleveland has denied him. Terrifying because it means starting over with a new team, new system, and new coaches after acknowledging his first NFL situation didn't work out. But maybe a fresh start in New Orleans is exactly what his career needs if the alternative is continued decay on Cleveland's bench while Dillon Gabriel struggles. The next 72 hours leading up to the trade deadline will be absolutely fascinating and chaotic. Every practice report, every comment from coaches or players will be scrutinized for clues about Cleveland's decision. National reporters will camp outside the facility. Insiders will leak information continuously. One thing is certain, this story isn't ending quietly. Whether Shedeur stays in Cleveland and eventually gets his opportunity, or gets traded to New Orleans and becomes their franchise quarterback, the next chapter will be explosive. And the organization's decision will likely determine Kevin Stefanski's future in Cleveland, because if they keep Shedeur and he succeeds, Stefanski looks terrible for not playing him sooner. And if they trade him and he becomes a star in New Orleans, Stefanski's legacy gets permanently stained by yet another organizational catastrophe. If you're feeling that pulse too, make sure to subscribe, share, comment, and like, because this story isn't slowing down anytime soon, and you're not going to want to miss what happens next. Peace.